Hello everyone, and welcome back to my Flosstube. Well, welcome back to returning viewers. If you're new here, welcome, and I hope you enjoy watching the updates of my various cross-stitch projects, which are on the whole full coverage. I'm going to share some of the smaller pieces that I've got on the go, but I'll do that at the end of the month because it's just easier to do them all at once. And I have a finish to show you as well in the smaller ones. So that'll be at the end of this video. So it is the 15th of February today, and for the last 2 weeks I have been working on Trick or Treat. The chart is from Heaven and Earth Designs, and the work is from an artist called Randall Spangler. I do a lot of his dragony pictures, and this is one of the houses. First one of the houses that I've ever done. It's the spooky Trick or Treat haunted house. So eventually, somewhere down the bottom, there'll be a group of draglings being a bit scared about knocking on the door for Trick or Treat. Long way to go. This chart has 90 regular pages, so this is actually my biggest design that I'm working on at the moment. It's the regular chart and regular number of colours. I think it's about 89 or 90 colours, there or thereabouts, for Heaven and Earth Designs. There aren't a lot of colours in these leaves, so this month I was mostly working on this page, first page of the second row. I like to get to the second row because you've got stitching above, so it's really nice to, it feels like it's filling in, although there's ages to go. This is going to take years. I work on it for 2 weeks every other month at the moment. So this will be back out in April, and hopefully in April I will finally get this page finished. I worked on it for 12 days and I've done just over 6,000 stitches. So it's these leaves. There's so many colour changes in the leaves. You can see that one there, that kind of greeny gold one. And even down here in some of these reds, there's so many shades of reds and browns. The branches are several shades of grey with some black in there. As you can see, even the blue isn't a solid blue, so there's quite a lot of changing colour. And I work a colour down until either I finish the thread or until it's too big a jump to go to the next section. So there we have it. That's it for now. I'm swapping today. February is a month where I can only fit in my full coverage project, so I'm not working on Mooka in the evenings. I was planning on working on her during my lunch breaks, but I've also wanted to make some project bags, so lunch break's also a good time for prepping those, getting the fabric cut up. I'm not doing everything all at once, then I can take breaks and not rush. So there we have it. I'll be back in a week for me. It'll just be in the next segment for you, and I'm going to be working on Unicorn from Gecko Rouge. That's my next project. So I'll see you later. Bye for now. I don't include where I started from, point pictures inserted. So this is where I'm starting from. So I did a little recording. I am this unicorn's ear, top of his head. So this page is going to be lots of white, I think. Oh joy. But yeah, this is where I'm starting from at the beginning of my week. The pages on Gecko Rouge Designs are smaller than Heaven and Earth Designs, and I've also started it, so I think I'll probably get about halfway through the page in my week. Let's see when I come back. Bye for now. Hello again, it's Monday the 22nd of February now, and here's my progress on Unicorn. Over the last week, I didn't quite manage 3,000 stitches. There's been a lot of confetti, so much confetti. I hadn't got this flower done last time, so I think I was around here. So I've done all this, and filling in this and working colours down. There's also some very light colours that I've stitched. You're not really going to be able to see because it's on white fabric. So, not as much as I would have liked to have got done. Again, it's been a very busy and hectic month again so far. I can't see it letting up for any time soon, unfortunately. So, I'll just have to do the best I can. But I am considering making changes to the rotation. Not this month, I'll carry on as I was this month, but then probably going forward from March, I'm going to change things because I just need my stitching to be a bit simpler at the moment. So I'll go into it when I've fully finalised things and where I am and what I want to be doing. But here we are, that's it this month for Unicorn. And like I did last time, here's my start point for my week on the stitching time. I had a complete mind blank then. What am I working on? The stitching time. So last month I finished up page 4 here. Already had 5 and 6 done, and I made a tiny start on page 7 because that was right at the end of the week. So obviously got a bit of a blank area over here, so I'll be getting started. I'll carry on getting started with page 7, see how far I can get. There are a lot more of these pink confetti flowers. I think there is a patch of sky. If I can get into that, I might get a bit done. We'll see. But hey, working all the way over this side now. Nothing but blank space. Kind of quite liked working across, filling these bits in. Looking forward to getting down here because again, really start filling in then and get that nice concentration of colours. So I'm already missing it and haven't started stitching yet. So here's a starting point, and I'll be back again at the end of the month with where I got to, as well as an update on the smaller pieces that I've been working on. I'll see you then. Hello, it's the 1st of March today, so just a quick run through of the last bits and pieces of stitching that I did at the end of February. So first up, we have a stitching time from Heaven and Earth Designs. Artwork is by Amy Stewart, and I'm stitching it on 28 count Monaco fabric with 1 strand, 1/1, 4 crosses. And I had a teeny tiny start on page 7 at the end of last month, and so this is how far I have got. I did manage to get just over 3,000 stitches on it in the end, not much over 3,000. I had a couple of very slow nights on it, and there's lots of colour changing, especially in these flowers, as you can see. But now getting into one of the book spines there and into the vignette. There's a bit of sky. Eventually I'll work down to finish off the lady sitting stitching. So that's my progress on that for February. I'll be back shortly with an update on the small pieces I stitched on. And welcome back. Still the 1st of March. This is my, there we go, Book of Days 2021 for February. And filled in something for every day again. So, smalls, where shall we start? Let's start with the first chronologically-ish. Let's start with Rudolph and Friends. Oh, not very good doing this one-handed. So, can't remember where I was. I think I'd done on the top there. So border down. So I think, yeah, I've now got the names of all the reindeer stitched. They get repeated down the rest of it. And apart from reindeer, this would be reindeer number 6, and then 3 more at the bottom. So be stitching on this lunchtimes this week. Obviously they're just 4 now because I'm using my lunch break to record these segments. And got a few smalls to show you. So there we go, that's that so far. It's by the Historical Sampler Company, stitched on Ada. Very repetitive, but it's okay for stitching during lunch breaks because it doesn't use up too much time. Well, I mean, I'm not stitching for long periods on it, so it doesn't get too bogged down in it. So after that, let's see, next one is a finish. Let's go with the finish first, shall we? Oh, and that is It's Spring Fever. It's the first one in the for the bird series from Blackbird Designs. I've stitched on far too much fabric. I like to give myself space. I didn't know if I'm stitching it on hoops, so I could have got away with a lot less fabric. I don't know. So is this a lot of fabric? This one is stitched on 36 count Ren from Picture This Plus. I'm using the called for colours, that's the called for fabric as well. So I'm being very good and following all the instructions. And I even did the lazy daisy stitches on the stems of the flowers. So, I really love it. It's Blackbird Designs, what's not to love? Colours, gorgeous. Blues. Blues are definitely my happy place for stitching. I do like blues. So that is finished. That's my morning stitching project. So before I start work, still working from home at the moment, so very short commute means a little bit longer stitching in the mornings. So this was, after that I started the second one in the For the Birds series, so still Blackbird Designs, still the same colours, still making me happy. And this one is The Light Upon the Lawn. I started with the garland, and over here did the bird, and there's a flower there, and then the big bird, and now I'm on the house. I did the shutters this morning, so technically that's March stitching, but and the zigzag, so I could get the back stitch in, but shh, we won't mention that, it's a secret. So obviously now I'm filling in the roof so that the bird has somewhere to stand and the chimneys have something to stick out of. and we don't let the rain in. There's a flower here, something else here, and then a bit along the bottom with lazy daisies and French knots, and it looks like a lot of French knots, and I don't like French knots, so I might just do normal crosses. That's stitched on 36 count ale, which again is the called for. Another lunchtime piece was a new start, and this is a piece of fabric. It's 40 count Newcastle, and I think it's raw. It's either raw or natural. I think it's raw. There we go, zoom out a bit. So this is where I started. Did I say it's Spring Swirl? It's from Blue Flower Stitching. Blue Flower. And started, it looked better borders this time. I started with the outer border, and that was in Stormy something? The nice one, the nice blue from Classic Colourworks. Again, called for. So, flower at the top, flower at the bottom, and I started on the giant pot that he's grown his acorns in, so I thought I'll do that because I'm looking forward to doing the acorns anyway. That looks lovely. I don't have the pattern to hand, sorry. And then, so you got the acorn growing. It's too small to be an oak tree. It's acorns growing out of the pot. It's nice. And then there'll be a squirrel with his blue overalls on, over here somewhere. So this, I'll probably stitch on this next week. I was going to give this 2 weeks last month, but I was making a project bag during my lunch break. Not a good idea to do a project bag during lunch break. There's too much that I want to do. I was like one day cutting things out, the next day ironing on the interfacing, then the next day doing the zipper. I had a disaster with the zipper pull. It came off the zip. There's YouTube videos for how to get it back on. I did it. It's back on. It's all stitched together. It's all assembled. It's looking okay. I'm not going to do it during lunchtime again. It's a weekend project. So, carrying on. So I think that's all the bits that would be considered small. And next up, last week I was working on Muka at lunch times because there's no spare days in February when there's no leap year. So I started her on leap day last year, so this is the progress that I've made in the year. Got a bit at the top done. So I'm working on the left hand side at the moment. Once that's done, I'll do the right. Some of this goes into the right hand side. It's the other side of the massive sheet of memorabilia chart. So last week I brought this down a little bit more, worked on her skirt. Most of this space that's left is beads, which I'll do at the end. So I did the ribbon and filled in this big chunk of dress. Didn't get time to do that. And then finally, here we go, is Jane Cowie 1850 by the Scarlet House. And I can't remember if I finished page 2 last month. I just dropped my book so I can't look. I note things in there so that I can look and remember. I then put the book to one side out of reach. And so I can't remember. I'll have to go fishing. Oh, it's not too far out of reach. Let's have a look. Let's have a look, see. And this is why you keep these books, so you can remind yourself of what you did when and when you finish things. I did finish this month because I didn't have a lot of finishes this month. Yeah, so page 2 was finished on Valentine's Day. How could I forget that? It's true, page 2 was mostly from that to that ish. Goes over a bit. I think I mentioned that I changed to stitching the letters with full crosses. The pattern recommends half cross. That was half cross. This is 40 count. The model was stitched on 46 count. So I wasn't hugely enamoured with the way that the half crosses looked on the letters on 40 count 1/1. So I did 1/1 full cross. Yes, I did, because I remember going, mine eyes. So now we have mine eyes with pleasure. So I have almost finished page 3. You can probably tell. Border is so pretty. And did these pots, did these this weekend, and finished the leaves on the border. I think I might even have done this weekend. I got a lot done this weekend. Oh yeah, I had early mornings because Cat insisted on waking me up. Because that's what he's doing now. He's getting old. He's very bossy. So, little tiny bird. On this side we have 2 big birds. On this side, because we've got to squeeze in another word, look, we don't have room for the big bird, so our stitcher put a small bird in instead. And then we big bird the other side. So basically mirror this but with small bird. So that's all I've got to do. So I will get that finished this weekend, coming weekend. And then I can scroll it and work on the next set of pages. This middle page is mostly the verse. So the plan will be to stitch a bit over here, stitch some verse, stitch a bit over here, stitch a verse. I don't know whether I'm going to break it up and do 1 line of words at a time, or just do a couple of words and just keep switching more frequently. I'll see how I feel. I mean, it is Saturday, Sunday mornings that I'm stitching this, so it all depends how tired I am, how awake I am, let's put it that way. There is only so much 40 count you can, 1/1 you can do at once, so I think I will be filling in the larger elements. I think it's the start of a honeysuckle border along the bottom of the pages as well. So I've got lots of bits, and yeah, I'll finish off the verse as I go. I don't think I have, well, I mean, this is a page, but it's like most of the area that I've got for stitching in this frame. So I probably will just kind of gradually scroll down, working bits across. But it's an adventure. It's fun. So that is it for February, and I've struggled with my full coverage pieces, and the struggle has been because I'm so busy at work, and I'm so busy with loads of thinking to do at work, so I just want to sit down and do my stitching, and I think my rotation's got too many pieces in it at the moment. I'm not counting these little pieces, these little things I can pick up and stitch and put down as I want. I'm not greatly fussed about those. It's the full coverage pieces where I like to get everything out. I like to be settled down in my stitching spot and go from there. They're not as pick up and put downable as these small things are, which is why I get through the small things so much quicker. The other other element to it is I know I'm so close to finishing Just Be, and I want to get on with it. And then part of me is also, I just like just having a one or two big pieces to work on, and so I can devote time to it. I can see more progress. I'm not feeling like I'm rushing to get stuff done in a small amount of time. So I'm changing the rotation, just adapting it, and what I'm doing is dividing the month into 3 weeks and 1 week. Sorry. So 3 weeks and 1 week. I'm going to have 2 focus pieces that will get 3 weeks and 2 not focus pieces that get 1 week. And I don't have to stitch for the full 3 weeks. If I get fed up with the piece that I'm working on, or I feel like I've reached a good stopping point and I've only done 2 weeks or 2.5 weeks, that's fine. Stop, put it down. Pick up the other smaller piece and give that a bit extra the next week. So I've kind of gone through what I want to work on, what I really enjoy working on, the pieces that I really want to see some progress on. And then I'm trying to balance them. So I've picked Just Be, obviously. Want to get that finished. So close. I only have partial pages left. Today I'll be working on the partial page at the end of the row, and hopefully in the next couple of evenings getting that finished, and then I'm on the last row, which is just partial pages. And it's a large format chart, and I think it's probably only about half a page. Might even only be about 30 rows of stitching. There's not a lot. So 3 weeks I'm going to spend on that, so I should get a couple of pages into the bottom row. Now that, because of all I've got left, and there was never a lot of confetti in that piece anyway, it's a really nice easy stitch, which means it's got a lot of boring blocks coming up. So I'm going to work on that one for 3 weeks, and then for the 1 week piece I'm going to be doing a stitch in time again. That one is the polar opposite, it's full of confetti. So I'll have a nice break. I'll go from blocks to changing colours all the time. Then the other focus piece, it's my biggest piece and I really love it and I want to get some progress on it. I want to see where I'm going, and that's Trick or Treat. So those two are currently my two week pieces, so they're going to stay in Top Sport, but they're going to get 3 weeks. And technically it is a Randall Spangler piece. There are 3 draglings at the bottom, but I'm not counting that as my must have a dragling in the rotation piece. So the other project that will be out for the other 1 week, and so it'll be 1 week after Trick or Treat, and that's going to be a little light reading. Now, as I get through a little light reading, there will be more and more colour changes with that blanket that the dragling's on. I don't care about that. The bit that I've done was really nice and enjoyable to stitch, and I didn't feel like I was changing colours a lot. But I finished that page, so I'm going back to the top, which is all that creamy bit where under the blanket part. So that'll be a lot of block stitching, and that'll be nice change from all the colour changes that are in the leaves of Trick or Treat. So I'll be cutting it down from 3 pieces per month to 2 in terms of full coverage. I'll be using the same amount of time on those. But I still have all the extra bits and pieces of time where I can do these small pieces. And these are mostly, I've got on a half hour here or there. And I do get quite a few people commenting about how much I get done. It's because I like stitching so much. I tend to try to make time. I don't have children making demands on my time. I have a cat that makes the odd demand on my time, but on the whole, he's quite happy to sleep on the sofa. He'd much rather sleep on my sewing chair, but he only gets that while I'm working. He gets checked off that in the evening. Well, he gets picked up, cuddled, and put onto his blanket on the sofa. So he's the only demand on my time. Husband's pretty self-sufficient. So I can use all those odd half-hour segments of time where before work, during lunchtime, I can use those to pick up my small pieces and just work on them and get those done. So you'll still see a lot of progress on those. The only thing with the rotation is Muka, because I was using her for the spare days. Because I worked to the rotation to 4 weeks. So that would usually mean 2 or 3 spare days a month. And I was using those for Muka. I might just use some lunch times for Muka and use the extra days for the other projects. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. I'm not making any hard and fast rules about those yet. But that is where we are for now. So next month my update will look slightly different. There'll be slightly longer between parts. Not that you'll notice, because I'll still just record them and put them up at the end of the month. But hopefully I'll have lots of progress to show you on Just Be. And I'm looking forward to getting it finished this year. So, I will see you again at the end of March, beginning of April. Have a great month. Have lots of sewing time. Relax and stitch whenever you can. Whenever you find that time, make that time yours and put some stitches in. And I'll see you then. Bye bye.